Sometimes the thought of forgiveness in my life has felt like it's impossible. Even during my near-death experience, I remember God Himself ordering me to forgive everyone. And I stood there thinking, that's just not possible. No, I mean, I can't do that. Because I really did not feel that I could back then. So now, oh, I have forgiven everyone, including two. I, yeah, two. I did not think I could forgive. And, it's a surprise because one day it just became this absolute clarity around the situation with my mother growing up. And I used to feel so angry about it. This is one of the forgiving individuals. I used to feel so angry about it. And I didn't see her for many years. I mean, she wasn't reaching out to me. It's okay. But I finally, a few years ago, was face to face after a very long time and just said, I forgive you. And at that time, I understood that forgiveness that I gave her had to also be given with the understanding that you still were not a great mother. Okay. You still pushed me away. You still pushed all my siblings away, um, in her varying degrees. But here's the thing. This this is 3 years later. I my son and I have the same birthday. And on our birthday, we were going to brunch together. And I got a text from my mother, and it said, I hope you have a great day. Oh, and I thought, that's interesting. Okay. So I took a picture of my son and I forwarded it to her, which took her by surprise, and my son, and me as well, considering how I used to feel about the situation. But what wound up happening was I called her when I got home, hadn't spoken to her in 3 years. And I said, thank you so much for answering the phone. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you and share with you. And thank you for um, pushing me away. Because had you not pushed me away, come here. Sorry, my dog. Anyway, had you not pushed me away emotionally, had you not literally told me to get out physically, in the way in which you did, things were so abrupt and they were not warm or fuzzy or I didn't get a comforted feeling in my life. Um, and that's okay. That's what I chose in this life to learn with. These were the tools. The reason that I'm sharing this, it has nothing to do with being a victim of a circumstance. And this one just so happens to be with my mother. But what wound up happening, literally, I think it was 3 days ago, I get a text. And the text was, here's a picture of you and all of your brothers. You were such a great big sister. And this is your brother's when he came home from the hospital when he was born. And I remember the day well. I thanked her and I said, thank you so much. Great. I hope you're doing well. And I love you. Now, why would I say that? Oh, she doesn't deserve it. She did this. She did this. Oh, I could say some things. But you know what? The forgiveness provides me and you freedom. So I had to step into my highest self, my more evolved self. And I had to realize, wow, she didn't know any better. She didn't know how to do things differently. No one taught her. Hmm. Yeah. All right. cut her all the slack that she needs. She showed up the only way that she knew how, despite it being about herself most of the time. Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. What matters is that I shared with her in conversation, you allowed me to find myself in the inner depths of myself as love. And I would never have been able to achieve this understanding had I not been shoved away from seeking love from her and from others in my life. And when you are seeking outside of yourself, you're just blowing by your own self who can provide you everything. So you get to the point, maybe, maybe you're wondering how to get to this point. I don't know, but I've gotten to this point now where I go, oh yeah, I just have to love myself. That's it. Just love myself. And I have to forgive those in my life who don't know how to show up any differently than how they show up. And they're making choices that they don't have to make that are harming others emotionally and psychologically and sometimes physically. Okay. And they don't have to do that, but we have to love them anyway. Because if we keep meeting these obstacles, I'll call it an obstacle, if we keep meeting the obstacles of our lives with this, combative, I'm right, we're not getting it. There's no growth in that. There is zero growth. And the only way to find the freedom within that we seek and the peace within that we seek is to show up for ourselves differently, love ourselves, and forgive everyone. Forgive them for what they don't know. And if they're open to listening to you, you can say, hey, I was thinking this whole thing, it's got me thinking in this way. And so I'm just going to share this little thought. If they're open to it, they're open to it. If they receive it, they receive it. If they don't, it's not on you. But you showed up as yourself. You just presented it. And what someone does with the information is their choice. So I highly recommend forgiving. And there definitely was a freeing uh, feeling, even more so the other day. I didn't think that was possible. I really did not. And it happened a few years ago. Um, but it was also my ability to show up still being myself, despite what the history is right there. And then saying, it's all okay. It was supposed to be this way because I'm here to correct my energy patterns with that individual from our past life together. And I know what that is. She doesn't, but I do. And okay, she's still choosing to show up in this manner in this life. I've given her the information of how to have the opportunity to show up differently. She chose not to, but that's okay. I have no expectations because God Himself, as I was standing next to Him at His table in heaven, He said, Megan, do you have expectations of people? And I said, all the time. And He said, okay, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And I thought, wow, I am? Well, okay. And I've never forgotten it. So I'm not going to expect her, using her as the example, to show up any differently. She's not supposed to. Not supposed to. People sometimes, the ones that are challenges, are not supposed to be anything different than who they are. It is us who has to say to ourselves, why did I feel comfortable with this? Why did I say that was okay? Um, why did I make an excuse for that individual that this behavior is okay? Why did I choose to look beyond what they were presenting? And I knew that, well, it kind of feels this way, but oh no, that's being judgmental. But there was something there. So it's using the discernment wisely within ourselves without being um, judgmental, but yet at the same time, judging the energy, seeing if it's consistent. There's a lot of stuff. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. So until next time, may peace be upon you in all ways.